Hey everyone, welcome to Still a Little Salty, the podcast where we're not afraid to add a little flavor to our faith and a lot of laughter to our lives.
We're your hosts, Christy and Heather, two friends who have seen life's ups, downs, and the salty in-betweens.
We're here to talk about real life, real faith, real friendships, and all the moments that shaped us along the way.
So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's dive in.
Hello, Salty fam. It is your host, Christy. I am doing a solo episode this evening. Heather and I's schedules are not seeming to coexist very well together right now, and so I felt, all right, maybe we could do a solo episode this time. There will not be visual. I am not yet comfortable talking to myself to a camera, so this will just be audio. But it's been a bit since we have put out an episode, and I will be very honest with you that I have tried to record twice now and have come across some audio issues or technology issues. So, Heather, if you're listening, you are definitely the tech guru behind Still a Little Salty, and you are severely missed. But nonetheless, the show will go on. Also, our wonderful hostess with the mostest, Heather's birthday is next week. So happy birthday to Heather, and safe travels to California. And I hope that it is a extremely successful business trip for you and the family. And I love and miss you, and I can't wait until we're sitting down talking together. But in the meantime, I felt like now was a good time to allow myself to do a check-in since surgery. So the intent of this episode is actually a little over a 3-month post-op check-in since my hysterectomy. There's just some things that I wanted to, address or discuss, and essentially be a resource for other women who are either in the process of going through this, have gone through this, or may be going through this in the future, whether it's a year from now or 2 years from now or whatever, when you listen to this episode. So 3 months, where are we? Well, from a physical standpoint, it improves every day. I would say the biggest struggle so far, there's two things. So weight loss, but I don't think that's totally because of the hysterectomy. And I think it's just even so my age, and your metabolism kind of goes down as you get older. So trying to increase my activity to help with weight loss. And I'm sure that hormones do play into that a little bit. I do still have my ovaries. For those that are listening for the first time, I just don't have my uterus, cervix, or fallopian tubes, but there's not enough studies out there to suggest how long ovaries live after a hysterectomy. But anyways, I'm sure there's some fluctuations when it comes to my ovaries and hormones, so that probably is playing into the slow aspect of losing weight, but my activity is improving every day. I have taken on trying to run, and my goal is to attend a 5K this spring or summer, so wish me luck. But I do want to kind of talk on that, actually, because running was not something I was able to do prior to surgery, partly because I didn't enjoy it, but also because I just seem to have quite a bit of like back pain and stomach and pelvic pain anytime I would try to jog, whether it was on the treadmill or just outside. And I never really thought anything of it until after I got the clearance from my surgery to start working out again. I realized when I was jogging the pain that I used to feel, I didn't feel anymore, especially in my lower back and my pelvic region. So it just kind of makes you realize that the pain that you had been living in really was not normal. And I'm extremely grateful for the fact that I don't experience that pain anymore. The one aspect of working out and physical activity that I was not expecting, though, from the surgery would be my core. I didn't realize that 4 quite small incisions had such a impact internally until I tried to do a plank about 2.5 weeks ago, and I couldn't even hold it for 10 seconds. I was a struggle bus, and so I've been challenging myself every day for the last 2 weeks to hold a plank for 1 minute long. And I can say that I am officially able to hold a plank for 1 minute with minimal pain. But the first several times that I tried, it was difficult. So that was something that I was not expecting post-surgery. And I'm sure that any woman listening to this that's been cut open from even having a child probably could relate. But given the fact that I never experienced that, this was new for me when it came to abdominal surgery and recovery. So to those that are listening that are potentially going to have this surgery, my suggestion would be to either A, work on your core strength now prior to surgery, or expect your core to be almost non-existent after surgery and definitely build up on that because core is extremely important. So that's one thing that I would say I noticed since the procedure that was honestly quite frustrating, which leads me to the next talking point, that it kind of like trickles into that. So from a physical standpoint, I'm improving every single day, and I definitely don't regret the procedure. If anything, it's improving my my life. Like I said, from a pain aspect, I have absolutely not the same type of pain that I used to have prior to surgery. So it just solidifies that this was the right choice for me and my health moving forward, and the havoc that I think it was creating internally that I wasn't even fully aware of or didn't even fully comprehend until now I'm on the other side of it. But how am I doing emotionally and spiritually since the procedure? So that, I think, is where I wouldn't say I struggle the most, but is where the healing and improving is slower. So, and the core the core exercising kind of leads into the mental and spiritual side of it. So Matt and I went to the gym, I don't know what, like a week ago, like it was a Friday. And I was already aware of the fact that my core was like non-existent since the procedure. And so I'm trying to do ab exercises on my workout, and I don't know, I just felt really defeated because I could feel the pain, which is normal. I got to rebuild my core, but it leads to the emotional side of the healing. So it was a trickle effect, so I'm sitting there, I'm trying to do ab exercises. I can feel the pain and I can feel that I'm weak when it comes to my core, again, to be expected. And it then made the mental game start to come into play. And I stopped my workout earlier than I wanted to, and I was very frustrated, and Matt could tell that I was, just feeling a little defeated. So we got in the car, and I was just quiet, and I could feel the emotions coming on, and it just made me realize that I need to address the, I guess, elephant in the room with myself personally, and I guess, where am I trying to go with this? Acknowledge the fact that there's still some mental healing that's going to come from this, and that might be my entire lifetime, and accepting that it's okay to have moments of feeling sad of what the surgery meant from an aspect of womanhood or even motherhood for me. And so, I got home, I could feel the tears coming on, and so I let them happen, but I was kind of avoiding them a little bit. And then, I don't know, my mom popped in my head. And I think that was one aspect of this procedure that I wish that I did have. I wish that I had my mom. And so there was just a lot of emotions hitting at once. And again, it was pretty much my 3-month post-op day. And so I was feeling that. I was feeling the core exercises and the defeating aspect of not having the strength that I once had, but I have to build upon. And so I went into my room and, was throwing myself a pity party. And then I remembered that I had this book that made its way back to me after my mom had passed, called the Blue Day book, that she had bought me March of 2001 and wrote a letter in. And a friend of mine, I had gifted it to her my sophomore year of high school. And she had it all the way up until 2020 when mom passed, and found it by accident, messaged me on social media and was like, I really think that this belongs with you again. So she had mailed it to me. So obviously I've had it in my possession, and it's not a book that I've leaned on quite a bit, but when I was feeling all the emotions as far as missing my mom and wishing I had her to talk to, prior to the surgery, after the surgery, and even healing from the surgery, and just having a mom's input, the book itself kind of gave me that. And so, where am I going with this? I am now finding that this is kind of my mom's way spiritually of being there for me and giving me, I guess, the advice that I need. And it's not going to obviously take away all the emotions that I feel about, this procedure and healing from it in a mental aspect. But I wanted to share, the book on this episode, and even read the note that she had written in it. Next month it'll be 25 years that she wrote this note. So it says, to Christy from Mom, when I saw this book, I thought immediately of you, how you can always manage to make everyone else feel better. And I know things are hard for you right now. Squeeze your left hand tight, there's a kiss, and your right hand tight, there's a smile. Sending a big hug. Lots of love, Mom. When I read that, I couldn't remember what the emotions or what was happening in March of 2001, but it almost felt like this letter was meant to be written for me to read today, because I think things are kind of mentally hard at times when it comes to the reality of my hysterectomy and the healing from it. And this letter was everything that I needed and more. And it was my mom's way of giving me what I need in the moment today, but 25 years ago. It's just crazy to say. And I will try to put a picture of this in this episode, and a picture of the book, because the book itself is really adorable. There's a bunch of photos of animals with like grumpy faces or crazy things. And it's just essentially it's a book. When you begin to read it, it's talking about, you might be having a down day or a down month or experiencing things in your personal life and work life. But when you get to the end of the book, you're smiling so big from reading it, from the pictures and from the words that the author had wrote. And it's just the perfect book. And it's literally the perfect gift that my mom could have ever given to me. And I know that 25 years ago, she probably didn't think that it would make that much of an impact on me in that moment. But I don't know. I just almost feel like internally in her core and soul, she knew that this was going to be something I needed years from there. And if she was able to hear this message today, I would tell her thank you so much for writing that letter and buying that book, because it was something I needed so big in a moment of sadness and feeling defeat. And I guess that's where I want to go with this whole episode, is that you may be feeling a lot of emotions and a lot of sadness, but happiness will find you one way or another. And all you have to do is look, and there's going to be some message or some sign showing you that although you're feeling sad that right then and there, there's so much more to life, and there's a rainbow after the storm. And I'm thankful that I had this book to look back on and even use in a moment of silence, when a sadness, that when I really want my mom, but obviously I can't physically have her here with me, but this book is giving me my mom in just a different way. So I also want to say, if Lexi's listening to this, thank you for sending this book back to me, 5 years ago when mom had passed. And it's still providing happiness 25 years later, from almost, March of this year will be 25 years that mom gave it to me. But yeah, so 3 months post-op hysterectomy. From a physical sense, I'm improving every single day. Even in emotional or spiritual sense, I improve every day. But, my very sweet and caring husband reminds me daily that the emotional aspect of what that surgery means will probably have some type of impact and sad feeling for the rest of my life. But I have him, I have Landon, I have my friends and my family to remind me that my story and my life is important. And just because I didn't get to experience motherhood the same way that others do, I am a mom, and I am a woman, and I am an important part of the child that I was gifted by God. I'm an important part of his life. And, I did get to experience motherhood. It just looks a little different. But for those that have to go through this procedure, just know that all of the emotions that you feel are normal. And, if you're in the thick of it, you will get through. There's women out there that, you can reach out to me if you need to, if you need someone to talk to or vent to about it all. You can reach out to Heather, because, she shared too that she had this procedure. And, even 5 years from now, I'm sure there's going to be times where I get smacked in the face of what the surgery meant, the finality of what it meant. But every day I improve, and every day I prove to myself that I can do hard things. And I want you to remember that you can do hard things too. And your emotions and your feelings are valid, and don't second guess them. I wouldn't say sit and dwell in them, but definitely feel them, because it's healthy to feel those emotions, and just know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. And it's a big procedure, but I can say as someone who I don't even think I realized just how I guess toxic and inflamed my body was until I'm on the other side of it, and the pain that I don't feel anymore and how it wasn't normal, but now I get my normal life back and I get my life back. So, that's a positive of it too, is you're getting that toxic out and you're getting the essentially failing organ that's just wreaking havoc on your body. You're getting it out and you're going to get your life back. You don't have to battle periods anymore. You don't have to battle pain anymore. You don't have to make your schedule around that part of your life and that cycle. And man, once I lose some more of this weight, I literally cannot wait to go buy white pants. Although my husband is probably going to listen to this and say that is a terrible idea. Cause I sometimes struggle with IBS. I know, TMI, but anyways, I'm excited to not have to be concerned about, did I have an uh-oh, or, did my tampon fail me or my pad fail me? I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff anymore. So to those of you listening that went through this or are going through this, cheers to us that we can put that part of our life behind us. And yeah, every day gets better, every day improves. And if you want me to read the Blue Day book to you that my mom gifted to me, I can do that for you as well. So with that, I love you. I hope that this episode hits you in a positive one way or another, and it meets you right where you need it. And I look forward to sitting down and sharing things with you again here soon. And have a great week and weekend. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Still a Little Salty. We hope you enjoyed hanging out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Remember, it's okay to be a work in progress. We're all just trying to be the salt, adding goodness, truth, and a little bit of flavor along the way.
We'll see you next time. Until then, stay salty.